Hey guys, welcome to the Cougar Eliminator Den. My name is Sean. I appreciate you guys stopping by. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't. And now on to today's video. I never used any roller suspension components on one of these cars, so it's gonna be pretty cool to see that. So yeah, pretty excited. Looking forward to putting these on. Picking up a U-Haul truck and a car dolly, and picking up a 67 Cougar GT. There it is.
Almost in the cornfield.
Wow, check that thing out. Holy crap, it's like a barn find. But I went to my dad's yesterday. I wanted to use his 12-ton press he has. So I pressed in the bolts for the shafts for the control arms, and I managed to press out both of the old bushings and pressed in new ones for the, I believe it's called the pitman arm. But yeah, I ended up having to cut the lip off both sides so it could be pressed out. But once we got that figured out, it wasn't too bad getting these bushings out. And yeah, so I'm pretty happy with how this has turned out. I got the drive shaft hanging up right now. I cleaned up the ends of the both ends with the yoke, both yokes, because from the factory these portions were machined. I hope you can see that, and they would have painted the yoke, installed it, and then machined, and so that would have been bare metal on both sides. So I just had to clean that off, and I clear coated the stripes, each of the stripes. This is turning out pretty good. It's a good idea to make sure that the seal ram cylinder isn't going to leak. Two 5/16 inch lines screwed into the two ports right there and into like a little bottle of ATF to fill the cylinder and make sure that the seal wasn't leaking. All right, let's see how this works. I'm not going too fast. I don't want to shoot fluid everywhere. I don't see any leaks from around the seal right here, so it looks like that's fine. It's quite a bit darker. So here's the fluid that came out. So I began to grease the joint down here, and black stuff was leaking out of one of the inlets on the end of the pump, or under the cylinder. So I think I'm going to redo the process of pumping fluid into it and see if I can clean it out more, because the fluid that's coming out is black. So we'll see what happens. So I've got some pretty old paint stripper here, but I'm gonna try it. These tie rod parts right here, because these are painted black, and I'm stripping them because I want them to be bare metal. I realized I might have made a mistake after watching a YouTube video of a guy doing it. The shaft will probably need to be rotated to center it once the nuts are tight, and it's not going to be possible with the bolts in the way. So I'm going to see what I can do. I may have to take them back out. We'll see. But yeah, we're going to see what we can do. So I finally got this arm. I'm sorry for the background noise. I have a tumbler going, but I finally got this control arm pulled out of the tank. It's looking pretty good. I had various rust and stuff on it after I clear coated it, and then I had rust underneath the clear coat, so I had to restrip it, and I've got it cleaned up. It's sitting here with solvent on it. I'm just cleaning, waiting for the solvent to dry, and then I'm going to clear coat that, and hopefully this time it turns out better than the last time. I'm now focusing today on getting the floor pan as far as I can get it. I have to grind down some of these areas right here. My dad's also saying that he wants me to cut, or he thinks it's a good idea to cut halfway along here, which I think I mentioned in another video. I'm still deciding if I want to do that. He said it will be easier to weld the floor pan like this rather than to this edge, which I think he's right. But I don't know if that's gonna affect this pan. I'll think about it. I'm gonna clean up along here, clean this up so it's ready to be welded to. I have to get rid of this. Clean up a little bit more down here. This piece right here is part of the floor pan, still has to come off. Not sure what I'm doing to do up there yet. So I got the side over here cleaned up pretty good. Pretty smooth, bare metal along here. Cleaned up these, and also got off this little piece that was left on that corner right there. Now I have the floor pan patch over here. I've got a line, and you can see that line right there. I'm gonna cut along that, just get rid of this piece, just get out of the way. So I just drew up this kind of like diagram schematic for the floor and the toe kick, the firewall. Here's my toe kick piece I've trimmed down. I wanted to get the measurements before doing anything more, because I kind of cut this down roughly just to get excess off of it, but it has to be cut down further. I think as far as the actual toe kick in the car, I don't want to cut any more out of that unless I have to do some trimming and stuff, because I don't want to have to mess with the holes in the like the emergency brake, the steering column. But yeah, I don't want to mess with that stuff if I don't have to. So now I'm going to do some measuring on this and possibly start cutting. So here's the power steering pump, and then install the seal right here. And now I'm going to go over to my dad's and use his press to press on the pulley. I'm also going to press out these studs for the control arm shaft, because I didn't research enough and I didn't realize that the studs are supposed to be pressed in after you get the shaft centered and tight, because you actually have to turn the shaft multiple rotations to center it either way, and you can't do that with the studs hitting the shaft. So I went over to my dad's house and used his hydraulic press to press on the front pulley here. From the videos I saw, you're supposed to make it flush with the shaft. So I'm hoping that's right, because there is some play in the shaft up and down. So I'm thinking that's how it's supposed to be though. I also pressed out the studs on the control arm here, and if you see it. So I'm going to try to install the shafts on both of these arms, and hopefully I'll be able to get that done. Right now I'm going to finish doing the power steering pump. There's one little thing I may not be able to do. We'll see. I might need a special tool to do it, but I'm going to try and see if I can do it. It has to do with one of the seals. But yeah, I'm going to try and we'll see what happens. So the pump is pretty close to being done. All I need is the original tag that mounts to the back of the pump, and it needs to be painted the same blue as the pump. So I have it soaking right now. It's in my little molasses bucket. All right, so here's the original tag off that pump. This is the indexing bracket, which would be correct for 67 big block. So I'm gonna clean these up with solvent and clear coat this, paint this blue. All right guys, I've been working on the control arm shaft here. I did take the studs out, which is a necessity for centering the shafts. You can't do it with the studs in. And I think I got them pretty close. So 68.06, 67.9. This is in millimeters, so about 15 millimeters off. I think I remember the tolerance being like 1/10 of an inch. it's 0.15 millimeters off. So 0.15 times that is that many inches. So that's the tolerance side to side. That's the difference I'm at. So pretty freaking close to being exact. Now the plan here is to have my dad do a couple welds on each side, just to hold the nut in place so it doesn't come out. They're hanging to dry, and now I'm gonna get working on putting the control arms together. So the control arms are staged. I got ball joints in, boots, everything on, just kind of sitting there. Nothing's tightened yet. I got the roller perches here. These are from Open Tracker. They're roller bearings instead of the original, which would have been just like a rubber bushing. And yeah, everything's still loose. I still need to have my dad, or maybe myself, we'll see, weld the nuts on both arms so they don't loosen just from like driving around. But other than that, tightening and welding, they're pretty much done. I do need to install the grease fittings on these, and also need to grease. I was reading a instruction thing online on how to build these, and the guy recommended greasing the rubber seals on the inside on the arms as well. So I'll probably do that. And other than that, I also need to press back in the studs, the bolts. But yeah, pretty happy. It's cool seeing these come together. Been a long time coming on these, probably like at least 2 months. Having to redo the finish on the arms multiple times. So I'm pretty happy with how they turned out. I really look forward to seeing how the roller perches work in action. I've never used any roller suspension components on one of these cars, so it's gonna be pretty cool to see that. So yeah, pretty excited. Looking forward to putting these on.